Hi everyone again. Another beautiful morning. Sun shining, the sky's blue. Hope it's lovely where you are today. Hope you're all keeping safe and healthy. So we're going to be doing another little art lesson today, and today, because we've been doing quite a lot of drawing recently, I thought we'd do a bit of sculpture. That's a bit tricky when you're stuck at home because you're not going to have very many materials with you. But I'm going to try and show you how you can use all sorts of bits and pieces that you can find all over the place to produce small-scale sculpture. We're going to be thinking about the work of sculptors like Barbara Hepworth and Henry Moore. And Barbara Hepworth and Henry Moore focused their sculptures on natural forms, and they were as interested in the space as they were the solid. So we're going to be thinking about that as well, the spaces and the solids, and how they all go together to make the whole structure. So, as with the last few videos, I'm going to do a demonstration, and then I will try to set you a little bit of work that you can do at home. Okay, here we go. Sculptors like Barbara Hepworth and Henry Moore used to take inspiration from natural forms, and they had studios that were full of different objects and things to give them that inspiration. Things like sheep skulls. They even had elephant skulls and rhinoceros skulls. I certainly don't expect you to have any of these things, even a sheep skull. It would be a little bit weird. Bits of bone. Again, really don't expect you to have things like this, but you can look them up on the internet, and maybe when you start doing your sculpture today, you would like to do that beforehand to get a bit of inspiration for the types of shapes you're going to go with. They liked objects like this because they're made of solids and spaces, and that's what they wanted to bring into their artwork. When you're producing your sculptures today, because we're all at home, because we can't really get out at the moment, you're going to need to be creative. You're going to need to have a look around the house and work with what you can find. Obviously check with your parents first of all, don't just go and raid the cupboards, but what I'm going to be producing a sculpture out of today is I'm going to be using masking tape, sellotape, I've got some duct tape as well, although that's quite expensive, so be careful with that. I was going to use newspaper, but we don't really get newspapers, so I found an old catalogue, and I'm going to be using the catalogue to make the sculptures out of. And I found some bits of wire as well. Again, you may not have this stuff at home, and if you don't worry about it, because you can make sculpture out of all sorts of bits and pieces, and hopefully my demonstration will show that. Okay, when I'm doing my demonstration, because this is going to take a little while, a little bit longer than some of the drawing demonstrations, I'm going to be I'm not going to be talking you through it, I'm just going to be doing it, and then I think I'm going to speed the film up a little bit so you don't get bored, and then we'll have a chat about it again at the end. Okay, here we go. So, taking inspiration from natural forms like the sheep's skull, like this bone here, and thinking about the work of Henry Moore and Barbara Hepworth, and just using bits of old paper, old magazine, and some masking tape. That in real time took 10 minutes. You see, the spaces are as important as the solids. And yes, it's rough, and it doesn't matter. We're stuck at home, we've only got limited materials, but this type of work, this sort of experimental work, stands you in really good stead for more refined work later on, when you're back in the art room, when you're with your art teacher, when you can get hold of better quality materials. Okay? So hopefully you'll be able to find bits and pieces to use at home, and you can have a go. Off you go. It really is all about experimenting. Just get hold of bits of newspaper and bits of magazine and bits of tape and scrunch them up, move them around, stick them together, see what sorts of shapes you can make. If you do one and you think, I'm not very happy with that, just put it to one side and have another go. Don't throw anything out, and it's always a really good idea to photograph what you're doing as you go along as well, because that shows the process you're going through. And as I said earlier, once we're back in school, once you're back in your art room and you've got the good materials, you can use all this experimentation and you can take it further and you can refine pieces. So I hope you enjoy it. As ever, if you're one of my students, if you'd like me to see what you've done and feedback to you, then can you just drop them into the Google Photos album, and I will respond to you. And I've just noticed that Robin's made an appearance again. So anyway, it's over to you now. At the end of this video, I've put a number of images of Henry Moore's work and Barbara Hepworth's work, just to remind you what that type of work looks like. Okay, have a lovely day, and I'll see you very soon.